and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing an unhaul, and I already filmed this once before and realized that my camera was tilted the opposite way. So I'm a little bit annoyed that I have to refilm this, but let's just get right on into it because now I just don't feel like having any fun with it. And we are going to start with this gem. You Can Run, But You Can't Hide by Dwayne Dog Chapman. And I used to be obsessed with Dog the Bounty Hunter. I watched every single episode of his show. I was obsessed with it. And this is just basically his story, his life. I never did read it all. I think I got it when it first came out, and then I never read it all. And now I'm just not interested in Dog the Bounty Hunter anymore. So I don't think that this is going to be something that I'm going to finish. Next, we have a surprising one, and this is Michelle McNamara's I'll Be Gone in the Dark. And I think I'm the only true crime fanatic that did not like this book. Like, this book got such rave reviews, but I really didn't like it. And I mean, it's not her fault for sure, because this book was pieced together after she passed away. And so, but it definitely feels that way. It feels very piecey, very chopped, cut and pasted together, and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. Like, they just jump back and forth and into different things, and it just, I would have loved to have read this book if she would have been with us in order to finish it. And I know that, I think it was her husband and her editor, they worked on it together to kind of piece it together as best as they could. So I know they did the best job that they could, but I just would have loved to see this when it was 100% hers. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just didn't really, there's some great information in here for sure. But yeah, I won't be reading this one again. I found it really hard to get through, to be honest with you. So next we have two books that I have double bought myself because that's me. I haven't read either of these, but I have duplicate copies of it. So this is Cassandra Clare's City of Glass, and this is City of Bones. So both of these I got at my local thrift store. I'm trying to collect her series, but I have not read them yet. So because of that, I'm not sure which ones I have and which ones I don't have. And so when I go to the thrift store and I see one there, I'm like, oh, I don't think I have that one, but then I come home and I do. So not to say these are bad books. I haven't read them yet. I just already have other copies of them. So I picked out the best copies and kept those ones. And these ones are going back to the thrift store because apparently I like to waste money. Next is another true crime book. This is called Who Killed Jackie Bates by Bill Weiser. And this is a book that happened very, very near my town. So, and this is why I ended up keeping this one. It was a good book. I have no complaints with it at all, but now it's like one of those things where once I've read it, I'm probably not going to read it again. And it was on my unhaul last time, I believe, that I did an unhaul, and I ended up pulling it out and keeping it. But then I realized I was only keeping it just because it's kind of a local story. So, and I don't need to keep a book just for that, just because it was a local story. So I'm not going to read it again. So it's got to go so I can make room on my shelves for some new stuff. So next I have this little library here, and it has Moby Dick by Herman Melville, Dracula by Bram Stoker, Oliver Twist by Charles Dickens, and The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by A.C. Doyle. And I am by no means not interested in reading these books. I've never read any of them, but look at how tiny they are. And like, these pages are like Bible pages. They're so thin, and the writing is so small. It's just, there's no way that I'm going to be able to get through these in this format. Like, I want to read these books, but I need to buy them in a different format. I've had these for forever, probably since I was like 12, maybe. I bought them because I really liked the look of them, and I love the gold gilded pages. They're very, very pretty. They have like that old style library look to them, and I love the look of them, but I know that I won't read them in this format. So I want to rebuy these. I mean, I already have the Dracula one, which I've read Dracula before, but the other three I need to rebuy in larger print, and then I'll get to read those ones for sure. So next we have E.L. James' 50 Shades of Grey trilogy. These I read in February as part of like Valentine's month. I figured I'd kind of branch out and read these guys. I didn't mind the first one. I really liked the second one, and the third one was absolute garbage. In my opinion, there was just, it was stupid. So yeah, it was kind of weird that the first one was okay, the second one I really liked, and the third one I didn't like at all. But I mean, this is a type of book where you've read it once, there's going to be no need to read it again. That third one for sure I wouldn't ever read again anyways. But yeah, I definitely won't be reading 50 Shades of Grey any more than I already have. Next, we have The Motion of the Puppet by Keith Donahue. And this book was trash. I was so excited when I got this in my Thrill Club unboxing because it reminded me of Goosebumps for grown-ups. This girl stumbles into a old abandoned toy store and ends up magically getting turned into a puppet. Like, that sounds just like Goosebumps to me. I was really excited. But I found it to be really poorly executed. And I mean, part of me thinks that I should possibly give this another chance because I read it on half on audiobook and half in physical read. And it was my first time listening to an audiobook. So I found that I got distracted a lot. So maybe that's why. Maybe I just wasn't following it properly, but yeah. Yeah. So next we have another duplicate buy, and this is Awakened, a House of Night novel by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. And this is a part of a series. And once again, this is one where I picked it up. I actually picked this one up, I think, at Dollarama. So it was only $1.25, thinking that I didn't have this one, but I got home and of course I already did. So at least I didn't spend a whole lot of money on it, being that I got it from Dollarama. The next book I'm unhauling is Wraith by Judith and Garfield Reeves Stevens. And this one, if you guys watched, I did a try a chapter tag a few weeks ago, and this one was one of the books that I ended up unhauling. So hopefully I didn't just spoil that for you. Hopefully you're not watching this before you watched that. Anyways, I couldn't even get through the first chapter of this. Not my thing. Next, we have The Lighthouse at the End of the World by Stephen Marlowe. And my friend Georgia and I did a bestie book talk on this last summer. We both hated it. It was an attempt at a alternate universe type book, but it really just was executed very, very poorly. It was a great idea for a book. It was based on Edgar Allan Poe. The week that actually happened in real life, there was a week before he turned up dead, where he went missing and nobody knows what happened to him during that week, and it was based on that week. So basically in this novel he ends up going into a different dimension, and like, it's very, very, very confusing. It was written extremely confusing. So it's a great idea, poorly executed. Next we have The Happiness Equation by Neil Persica. And this one, I found this to be a complete copycat of Gretchen Rubin's novel. Let me see if I can find, okay, yeah, look, even the covers. This one came first. I really enjoyed this one. Like, look. I can't. Like, this one was just basically a cheap copycat of this one, in my opinion. I really enjoyed this one. Did not enjoy this one. Buy this one. Don't buy this one. Okay. Next is Anne Rice's Taltos, and I ended up getting another copy of this one from my bestie Lane. She did a Bestie Buys My Books segment here on my channel, and she ended up picking me up a different copy of this, and I liked the cover of that one a lot better, so I'm going to be getting rid of this one. The next book I'm going to be unhauling is Stupid White Men by Michael Moore. And I love Michael Moore. I think that he is a great voice, and I think that he definitely comes up with a lot of interesting theories for a lot of interesting things. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to get into my political beliefs whatsoever, especially regarding the American system. Not going to get into that at all. I have just found Michael Moore to be very interesting. And I ended up purchasing this. I bought this book years ago during the Bush administration, and I really, really, really enjoyed it. And then I ended up, I don't know whatever happened to that book, but I found this one again at one of my library sales. And so I picked it back up basically for nostalgia reasons, but I'm probably never going to read this again. Like, this is about the Bush administration, and I mean, it's outdated. I'm probably not going to end up reading a book about US politics, especially ones that are like 10 years old. So, oh my God, more than 10 years now. Going on 20 years now. I have to stop. Okay, this one's going by. The next to last book that I'm unhauling is Untwisted, the autobiography of Serge Leclerc. And this is a man who had a lot of drug issues and a lot of drug habits, and he ended up founding a rehab program for teens that has a connection to my family. So I'll just say that. So a family member of mine ended up at this center, and it was very, very interesting to read this, but I probably won't be reading it again just because once again, I've already read it. It's one of those books, like a lot of, especially autobiographies and stuff like that, you don't end up reading again. It's just one of those things where I was kind of holding on to it because it does have a connection to someone in my family. So I kind of wanted to keep it for that reason, but I probably won't read it again, so I'm going to let it go. And the last book that we're going to be unhauling in today's unhaul is Ryan Buell's Paranormal State. And I used to be obsessed with this TV show when it was on. I am, as you guys know, I'm obsessed with horror and stuff like that. I love that genre of everything, and my mom and I used to watch this religiously. I think it was on Saturday nights, and really, really, really enjoyed this show, and I still do enjoy this show. We'll watch old reruns every once in a while, but on the show, this author, Ryan, he was the host of the show, and he always alluded to paranormal issues that he experienced when he was a child. And when I picked this book up, I thought that he was finally going to be going into those experiences. So I was really interested to read about it. But once I started reading it, I realized that basically every chapter was just a recap of the first season of the show. So every chapter was a different episode from the first season. So, I mean, I'd already watched them a few times. I did end up reading the whole book, but it's not something that I would probably ever read again, just because I've watched the show, I've seen it multiple times, I have like watched reruns of it, and I've read this once already, so I'm pretty sure I know what happened in all those episodes, and I'm not going to read it again. Well, you guys, those are the books that I'm unhauling for 2019. This is basically like a new series, I guess, or at least once a year I'm going to be doing an unhaul. I will link last year's unhaul up here in the iCards. I'm not sure where it'll show up, but I'll have that linked for you guys if you want to see what I unhauled last year. Last year was a little bit bigger than this one. Last year was over 40 books. So, but there was, I think, at least one of them on here that was on there last time that I ended up deciding to keep. So anyways, let me know in the comments down below if I ended up unhauling one of your favorite books. I'm very sorry if I did, but it's booktube. We're all allowed to like different books. It's okay. Don't get mad at me in the comments. I hope you guys are having an awesome day. Please hit that subscribe button on your way out if you have not already, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.